friends, and welcome to Spark Notes with Ray. Woo!
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Very excited.
Very excited to talk about where I raged about Nicholas Sparks. I almost said Cage. Cage. It was right there. I mean, we all want to sometimes rage like Nicholas Cage, but
is it just that we need to rage about Nikolai? What's the plural of Nicholas? Nicholases?
Nikolai, which is the vodka that I drank in college. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Nicolas Cage hasn't done anything to piss me off recently, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure he's grateful.
He was in that movie with Pedro Pascal, so you know.
Oh, right. I still haven't seen it, but obviously I'm familiar with the one scene of the two of them in the car because it was all over TikTok.
Right. Exactly. It's memed to death. It's okay.
Yeah, I did see that someone, because they have two computer monitors, created that. Like they just put Pedro on one side and Nicholas on the other.
Pedro Pascal. I was explaining to someone the other day about this conversation we've had about Pedro Pascal before, like why everyone gets hot and bothered about Pedro Pascal is because he has done the bare minimum. And
True. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is literally and love him for it, but like he's, an advocate. He is like women, all about consent and women's, all this stuff. And you're like, wow, every man should do this.
Yes. But like everyone should do the bare minimum. Like, yes.
And then he's also hot too. So,
well, there's that. Like, I think it's also like just his general personality and attitude. And that he's too. Like, I don't know.
His sense of dress is hysterical. I love it. I love that he's like, I'm wearing a blouse right now and I don't give a fuck.
Yes. I think he's also confident. Yes. Like I think that there's a lot to be said for that.
Yep. And I think that I think he just loves whoever he wants to love. And I think that's beautiful.
Of course. Happy Pride, by the way. I have rainbow-ish nails.
Like, ooh, I like. I really like.
See?
I love. I have carny hands and I don't have any.
I just got my nails done over the weekend. So there's that.
I can't. Well, those are your real nails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't grow my nails to just peel off. But I can't do fake nails because then I just feel like I'm like with everything.
Yeah, no, I can't. My nails are actually remarkably healthy considering me. But yeah, I get gel now because otherwise I won't do anything with them. I don't see a point because it just chips off. Then I get angry.
Yeah. So anyway. Speaking of angry,
yes,
and not drive angry, Nicolas Cage. So everyone seemed to have enjoyed our Safe Haven episode where we just fucking raged on Safe Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both watched Safe Haven, did we not?
We did. I did not read the book. You did. You read the book, but we both watched the movie.
Right. So this one's a little different. We decided, all right, I should say I decided. I was like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, do you want to do this? I'm like, I will do it.
I was like, are you sure though?
Yes. Because then I thought about all of the things that I have to do. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. And that was after I said, I'm going to do this.
You also this past weekend said, well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because go ahead.
This weekend you texted me and you were like, oh my God, I just realized I have to read A Walk to Remember. And I was like, Listen, no one told you have to do this. Like you can opt out at any time. This is a newsletter. You just hit like unsubscribe.
There's an unsubscribe button.
There's no need. You don't have to. No one's forcing you.
No one's forcing me. I just thought it'd be good content. I'm all about content now. Content.
Ray is sacrificing herself to the content gods.
Yes, and I'm fine with it. As if if you guys want to continue seeing me like lose my mind, it's free for you. What? Join our Patreon. Because there'll be more content there. All right. So what we're doing is going through all the Nicholas Sparks books that have been made into movies. So I'm hoping there's ones that haven't been made into movies so I can skip the fuck those. So
I'm sure there are.
I'm sure. Because they're all not winners. I mean, none of them are winners, but like I think I got the big bet, I got the best one here, and I think they just all go fucking downhill from here, unfortunately. We're
Great.
starting off with The Notebook. Guys, okay, first, I hate that I liked this movie and I hate that I liked this book. I also listened to the book at 2 times speed. So an 8-hour read was 2 hours for me. So yay. But I didn't hate it. Although I will say the sex scenes at 2 times speed are hysterical.
I'll bet
Um,
they are.
oh, wow.
How many sex scenes are there?
Just one. There's one.
Oh, okay. The one that everyone knows?
Yeah, like, well, in the book or in the movie, there's
Oh, right.
1.5,
Okay.
which I will talk about.
Okay.
So I want to say off the bat, like off the top, the movie follows the book pretty closely, honestly, very closely. There's a couple things that are different, but like for the most part, and they add a couple characters in. Um, the reason, okay, so the book is only 4 chapters long. It's only 200 and something pages
So how long
because
are each of these chapters?
not very long. Not very long. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would have to be
I mean,
what,
you're
like
talking like at least
100
50, if you're on
or
average, you're
50?
talking about
Yeah,
like
50,
50 pages per
75.
chapter. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a long chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, and what it's really crazy about it too is like each chapter is like a different time. Like, because they go back and forth in time and you go because it is
Mm.
like the movie where they go to the present and then they go to the past and they go back, but in the book it is more evident that the Noah and Allie in the in the book, like in the future and present, are the ones that are in the past. In the movie they leave it like you don't know who, like, James whatever his name is,
Marston?
no, the who plays Noah? James.
Ryan
Uh,
Gosling?
no,
Oh,
no,
oh,
no.
oh, oh, like older Noah.
James Gardner and Jenna Rollins. You don't know that that is supposed to be Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling. Old, like
Got it.
they keep it from you. It's like, come the fuck on, you know it
Right.
is, because he goes like on the IMDb casting. James Gardner's name is Duke because in the book he explains that he told her his name was Duke because of John Wayne, because they liked John Wayne movies. That was something that she could remember and she liked.
Okay.
So um so yeah, I mean, and so the book really doesn't go into, they like, it's really interesting actually, I have to say, like, you don't have any of them falling in love for the first time at all in the book.
Hmm.
Like, you don't get that, like, so most of the movie is them falling, like the first hour is them falling in love um the first time they meet, and then and what's happening in the present. But the first, so um and it's like 1940, so it's right before the war. And in the book she's in town for the summer to visit a friend, and then she leaves for the summer, so like he's heartbroken, and he writes her letters, and the mom doesn't, she takes the letters out of them. But we don't have a lot, we have like one scene with the mom, which is the same in the movie, but like in the movie the parents really fucking, like, they have a huge part in the book, in the movie. And I was like, I don't know if I care about, like, I don't know, it just make it, I don't know if it's dramatic, we need it for dramatics. I mean, that's really what it is, because in the book you didn't need those characters really. um you kind of knew that, like, she came from a wealthy family and he does not, and you get it.
Mm-hmm.
um so I guess what I'll say about the book is I did, again, hearing at a 2 times speed. I said if I listened to it at regular speed I might have cried a little bit, but I did tear up a couple times. I mean, it's super sad. It's about
Well,
two
it's
fucking
sad.
two old people with, one with Alzheimer's who's like towards the, I mean, going to die.
Right.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is they changed the ending in the movie.
I have heard about that.
it is very ambiguous in the book what happens, because they close. Actually, I don't know which I like better. I kind of like the movie better, just because you have this beautiful ending of them dying together in their sleep. I think that's actually gorgeous, because you don't want to think that he's going to be left alone when she passes.
Right.
And but in the book, she has a moment of clarity at the very end, and they kind of like intimate that they might be doing it at the very end. And but it sounds like, the way it's written, it's almost as if they're like young Allie, young Noah, and that's kind of how they end it. And it's actually it's ambiguous, but it's beautiful in its own sense too. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from Nicholas Sparks. This book is beautifully written, I'm not going to lie. It is gorgeous. Like, there's some Walt Whitman in here, and just that, he quotes Walt Whitman, he quotes Tennyson. It's beautiful, it really is. And as much as I fucking hate that I liked this book, it's still sad porn. That's what this is. It's fucking
Yeah.
sad porn.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, honestly, he deserves the recognition he has for this book. It is good. Will I read it again? Fuck no. Will I watch this movie again? Fuck no. So let's talk about this movie.
All right. Let's get
Okay.
into it.
Oh, my first note is, how come there's no sound? For like a good 30 seconds, no sound. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Is my
At the
computer
beginning?
broken? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, we open on a lake in the morning. And my next note is, can I watch this at 2x speed too, please? Like,
Also, I really admire the ability to listen to a book at 2x speed, because the fastest I've ever been able to go is 1.5. The book I'm listening to right now, I'm listening at 1.5.
yeah, it's well, and it's really interesting. So Campbell Scott plays Noah, does the voice of Noah reads for Noah in the book, in the audiobook. And I can't remember who reads for Allie, but it's, he does a good job. But I think, I don't know, this is a very slow read, so there's a
Okay.
lot, which is hysterical, because there's a lot of sound cues. There's a lot of musical cues, and they
Oh,
sound real dissonant when you listen to it at 2x speed.
I'm sure.
Yeah. My next note is, hey, James Marsden's in this. He's hot.
He's hot.
And he is. The my next note is, so we start in the present. So we start at the nursing home, and Jenna Rollins in this movie is beautiful. Beautiful. Also, this was directed by her son, Nick Cassavetes, who
Oh.
yeah, I did not know that she was married to John Cassavetes. But yeah, and Nick is known for a whole bunch of different movies. Face Off.
Oh, speaking of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
He was in Face Off. He didn't direct that. He was in it. He hasn't directed what's upcoming previous.
It's an actor.
Just pretty much The Notebook is really an Alpha Dog. Oh, My Sister's Keeper. Oh, so he loves those fucking like sad
porn
books.
movies.
Yeah. The Other Woman. Yep. Cool. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, because the way at some point James Noah Duke looks through old pictures, and it's pictures of Jenna Rollins and James Gardner. And I was like, were they married? I'm like, no, I don't know. They must have done some really fun editing with the pictures.
Super fun Photoshop.
Yeah, right. But it's funny to think that Ryan Gosling becomes James Gardner. Was like, okay. I mean, James Gardner was real good looking when he was young.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, Jenna Rollins also beautiful, like just in general. I mean, yeah. I think she's a gorgeous woman.
And Rachel McAdams is just gorgeous. I don't think Ryan Gosling is attractive. I'm so sorry. I just do not.
I've said it too. Like, maybe not publicly on the internet, but he just doesn't float my boat, is all.
No, there's just something about it. I think it's the eyes, because his eyes are too close together.
Yes.
Yeah. And in this movie, there's one shot of him that I found like, oh, that's doing it for me, and it's because he's in a uniform. He's in
Yeah.
his army uniform.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to rage about in this movie, accents. It's supposed to be South Carolina, guys. No one has an accent. In fact, Ryan Gosling has his New York, Brooklyn, whatever fucking accent he's got. And I'm like,
Nope.
could someone put a modicum of like fucking effort into this and like put on something? Joan Allen's in it. She has a little bit of an accent. And her and the guy who's playing her husband, so this would be they're both Allie's parents. He sounds like fucking Colonel Sanders, so I'm fine with that. But and he also looks like fucking Colonel Sanders with this big old mustache. He's like, I'll say. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. At least he was doing something. Listen, Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, this is the Deep South. Where are the accents? In the 1940s. We should almost have to have fucking closed captioning to understand what you're fucking saying. Yeah, I was a little upset with that. Just, you could tell, a little bit.
I mean, valid.
I mean, Turtle from Entourage is in this, and he had an accent. He at least tried the accent. But our two leads couldn't be fucking arsed. Honestly, and then James Gardner and Jenna Rowland didn't either. And I was like, guys, come the fuck on.
Okay, but like, okay, whose job is that? Would that be like the director's job to be like, hi, we are in South Carolina?
Yeah. Because at one point they go to Atlanta. And I'm like, come on, guys. Everybody around you would have an accent. I mean, I guess they just, whatever. Because to me, honestly, sometimes Southern, on men, sometimes Southern accents are kind of sexy. So if you're thinking that girls...
I will say I love a Southern accent because it is like soothing to me.
Yeah, when a guy says ma'am to me, and I don't like ma'am, but when he says it to you in a Southern accent, I'm all right with it.
It's certainly more acceptable.
Yeah, there's a kink there that I'm willing to explore.
I love you so much. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're
raging
fine.
About the lack of accents.
Yeah, so we know one thing coming out the gate. Noah is a close talker. He's a Seinfeld-esque close talker. So he comes up on Allie. He sees her. She's visiting, or her parents in the movie have moved to South Carolina for the summer, or something. Yeah, for the summer. Okay,
the summer. This is where they summer.
This is where they Actually, this is where they summer.
There you go.
And he just sees her and he wants her. And it's at one point he says, I have to have what I get what I want at one point. And I'm like, okay. Right. Like, my note is Noah's a stalker. He literally, so she gets on she's kind of like, and rightly so, I don't fucking know you. You are so close to my face. No thank you. Mm-hmm. Very much Ted Lasso. That's horrible. No thank you. And so she gets on the Ferris wheel with one of her friends, a guy friend, and they are going on the Ferris wheel, and fucking Noah just decides to hang from it.
Nope.
First he jumps into their car as they're going up, and the ride operator is like, dude, you cannot do that.
Well, yeah, that also feels dangerous for not just him, but literally everyone. Like,
correct. Because for my second thought was, what fucking like he okay, there's no bar keeping anybody from just falling out. What the fuck? So he then hangs from to get her to say she'll go out with him. He hangs from the Ferris wheel, one-handed at one point. And I mean, finally she's like, fine, yes, I will go out with you. But she has no intention of going out with him. Thank God. Because I was like, dude, Allie, you are correct.
Yeah.
This is, nope, I'm on your side, girl. And my notes.
Yeah, just shout out to like teenage girls. Or really anyone who is attracted to, you know what? Just shout out to literally anyone. If
Covering
it,
everything.
it's not, I would not say this is like specific to boys or girls or binaries. Um, if someone is like engaging in really dangerous, risky fucking behavior to try and get you to go out with them, all the red flags. Get the fuck out. Don't like.
Yeah.
Do not just out.
And I'm gonna say like this character here, and I can see why they cut this. So this is all added. This is not in the book.
I
This is
was just
all
gonna
for the
say like
movie.
this. It didn't. You didn't mention this when we were talking about the book.
No, and it seems so out of character for how he acts later.
Okay.
And it's out of character for the book, Noah. Like, I'm gonna say right out, I'm not gonna lie, I wrote you and I said this. Noah is a fucking awesome guy. Like, he is an awesome hero. Like, I mean, he moves into a nursing home to live with his wife because, and he doesn't have to. And which I really love in the movie is you see like the kids, and the kids are like, please come home, please come home.
Aw.
Because she doesn't, the Allie doesn't recognize them. And so you realize how awesome fucking Noah is. And this movie, like, yeah, he's I don't know. There's some things that happened in here where I was like, okay, I don't like this. So anyhow, let's move on. I'll get to the things I don't like that they've done that make you not like Noah. And this all feels like a fucking improv. Let me just say that. This feels like it was improv the day of. Like, just go ahead with the dialogue because it seems out of the fucking nowhere.
Well,
And
you're trying to turn a 200-page book into a 2-hour long movie, so you don't
right.
really have a lot of content here to work with.
No, but like it feels like the actors are even just like, just say shit. Just go. Like it doesn't make some of it doesn't make sense. Some of it like just feels goofy, like for no reason. So he sees her on the street after and he comes up to her, he's like, so when are we going on a date? She's like, I am literally not going on a date with you. I don't want to. No, thank you. And he is kind of pissed off and whatever. And um her friend, awesome friend of hers, tricks her into going out with him. But like, we're going to the movies. Let's go to the movies, and then there he is. So then, her friend and Turtle from Entourage start making out, and pretty much leave these two people like awkward. So they go off on their own. Suddenly, she's like feeling the vibe from him because what, he came and sat next to her. Awesome. He still hung himself from a fucking Ferris wheel. Come on, guys. Like, critical thinker, not so much. Oh, so then we've learned that she's preparing to go to college, which is different from the book too. Like, which
I was going to ask, how old are they when this happens? Are they like 18?
she's 17. That's the other
Okay.
thing I was like, I am creeped out right now. But it was different. It was a different
Negatory.
time. Yeah,
It was a
it was.
different time because expectations were lower for humans. But like, I
Yeah,
I have, I love Rachel McAdams.
yeah.
Girlfriend does not look 17.
In this, well, because this was also what, 2004. Yeah,
Yeah.
2004. She looks young. She doesn't
In
look
these,
17.
she
Yeah,
doesn't look 17.
no,
She
but
looks like 25.
right, agreed. I mean, she and she acts 17 though. Like the things that she says in here, like kind of like, oh, this is very childish. And that's the other issue I have with this is like, she's 17.
Hmm.
He's working. I'm gonna assume like 19 probably. We don't get a real date on him. Um, so I mean, it's still like, I don't know. Like, I know it's again a different time, but still, it felt kind of creepy
Hmm.
because it felt like two young teenagers falling in love, and that does not make sometimes a really good relationship.
Well, yeah, of course.
So yeah. But I do like that she's going to college in this. I do like that change that they've made, and she's deciding between Sarah Lawrence or I can't remember. It's a Vassar.
Oh, okay.
And she and what ends up happening is they end up dating, like full out dating. Like he comes to dinner at one point, and that's a horribly awkward scene because her family's the worst.
Yeah, I
And
got that impression.
yeah, um, although her dad is very much like he knows he's willing to let her go off and have this experience because he's like it's a summer romance. It's not gonna
Yeah,
last.
right.
Just let her enjoy being a kid.
Hang on. Okay, so this is like the summer before her senior year? I'm
I
confused. I guess they don't.
I think that they play fast and loose with it because
Okay,
we just know
yeah.
that she's 17. We don't know
So
that she's
clearly
17.
timeline issues.
Yeah, because like she would have already applied. She finds out
Yeah,
she does decide that she's going to Sarah Lawrence um
yeah,
in the
real fast and
summertime.
loose with the timeline. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're just like, this is how it used to be. I'm like, that's not how it used to be, but that's fine. Whatever.
No, fine. Okay.
1940s. I mean, I'm just glad that she's going to college.
Yeah, I mean
Um
that was not a given at the time.
right, right. Um so they so on their first that after they go to get out of the movies or whatever, I have to tell you about the scene because it was like, what the fuck? So all of a sudden, because he would have showed how quirky Noah is. He's so quirky. He lays down in the middle of the street underneath this traffic light, and she's like, "What the fuck are you're gonna get hit?" And he's like, "No, it won't. No, well, come on." He's like, "I just like my dad and I. You when I was little, I was like, it's 1940s. One, cars haven't been around that long. So like when you were little, so 17 years ago, what are you talking about? Like,
Again, the timeline.
yeah, traffic lights. Okay, like maybe in a tiny small southern town. Okay, so anyhow, he's like, we used to lay under the lights and watch the traffic lights change. I'm like, why?
But if you're laying under them, you wouldn't see them change.
Or like, you can. I don't know.
Maybe in the dark you could like see the light
Yeah,
reflecting. When were
I don't
traffic
know.
lights invented?
I don't know.
Hang on. First of all, the Model
I'm
T was in production from 1908 to 1927. Traffic lights were invented. The official birth date of the world's first traffic light was December 10th, 1868, and it was installed at Parliament Square in London.
Because they would have had them for carriages. Because you would have to have traffic flow for carriages. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So okay.
Oh my God. Hold on, please. I
Hold
have
the
a
phone.
theory. If you ask my my coworkers, I have a theory based in highly scientific fact.
Okay.
That Ohio has a degree of 3 separations from every American.
I'm
Consistently
listening. Like Fraser Crane.
consistently
I'm listening.
I'm listening. Consistently proven correct. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Um
Okay. I like it.
okay. Hang on, like cuz it didn't take me to it. Let me control F. Oh, if I could spell the name of our actual city correctly. Hang on. Okay. As automobile traffic increased, American policeman Lester Wire designed the first electric traffic light. This was 1912. It was
Mm.
installed in Cleveland, Ohio on
Oh,
August 5th, 1914 at the corner of 105th and Euclid.
really?
And that is from Washington State University. So I'm shouldn't be like making that shit up
Huh.
from like a credible source.
I like it.
Cleveland, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen.
And and Cleveland, Ohio enters the the chat.
Enters the chat. Anyway, so Noah has a what I'm hearing
A,
here is
a
that Noah
penchant.
has a penchant or a history of
Yeah.
like reckless behavior is what
Yes.
is
Yes.
what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Something that you would really want your daughter to be connected
Oh,
to,
for
like
sure.
hook up with. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Noah in the book doesn't have these certain things because he's a grounded individual. Like
Why did they do that? Just like for shock value?
to
Seems
make him
dumb.
quirky, to make him, a quirky hero that like he'll do anything for love. Okay.
Cool.
So then a car comes by because it's a fucking road, and
And more red flags, you
almost
guys. Just so
almost
many.
hits them. Like
Yeah, of
literally
course.
almost hits them.
Yeah.
And then they dance in the middle of the road.
Okay.
Then are in love.
Cool.
Suddenly. Suddenly I have to. Yeah. And we have all these like a montage of them being in love. Uh my one note is, why does no one have accents in this? That's legit.
Again. Yeah.
Um they have this really interesting, I don't know what it's supposed to be. I liked it. I think it's again quirky. They're in the ocean frolicking, and she's got a beautiful 40s bathing suit on.
Oh,
Like
like that
her
red
clothes in
one?
this movie are beautiful except for her wedding dress. Her wedding dress is fucking ugly.
Oh, I'll have to
Anyhow,
look it
which I
up.
was like, for 1940s, you cannot, like, honestly, you couldn't go wrong. How the fuck did you go wrong with this?
How did you
Like,
mess that up?
I'll have to find it and I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
We'll link to it.
I'm looking at photos and I'm not of the wedding dress. I haven't seen that, but I do see a photo of her in like a red bathing suit with like a head
Yes.
wrap.
Yes, that's
Gorgeous.
that's the scene. And all of a sudden she's like, "What something about being a bird. Can I be a bird, or
Oh,
what would happen if I was a bird or something?" And he's like, I forgot how it goes, but
if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
if you're a bird, I'm a bird. And it's very sweet. It worked for me. I was like, this is cute. Um and I'm looking to see if I can find it, because I would assume that I'm looking in the quotes. I mean, there are some scenes in here that I did definitely like. Before I started sobbing, I was sitting in my chair sobbing last night watching this. Like at the end,
Oh
I was
my.
like hiccuping, sobbing.
Oh God.
Yep. I think about it, I'm gonna get teary eyed. Okay, so anyhow, they scream at each other a lot. Like she smacks him a number of times. She's like, they're both visibly they're verbally abusive to one another.
Cool.
um it's like, I don't know again why you would take this route to make them so, because like they fight and then they make up right away. I'm like, yeah, that's not a great,
I
that's
wouldn't say this is like a shining example of a healthy relationship.
right.
Then again,
And
if she is 17 and he is 19, I can't imagine that either of them are like good at being in a relationship, because you're still trying to figure out how to like interact with
the
your
other opposite
romantic
sex,
partner, like
exactly,
it's a
right.
lot to
And
take in.
and who does she have? Who do either of them have as role models? So you got like this couple that are this wealthy couple that are very stilted uh, towards one another, because they're like so wealthy they don't like. I'm assuming he's probably stepping out on her, and then he's got just his mom died when he was little, and he's just got his dad. His dad is great. I love the character who plays his dad. His dad's very. If I had to say one thing positive about like what they've added, is we got to see the dad, and we don't see him. We hear of him in the book. We don't get to see him, and I really enjoyed the character. I really enjoyed the person who played it.
Who plays
Um,
like what's that person's name?
it's Frank.
Oh,
Um,
I was trying to look at IMDb.
let's see.
It was I don't see anyone named Frank. Hang on. It wasn't Harry?
Frank Calhoun.
Oh, okay, I see.
Sam Shepard. Of course, it's fucking Sam Shepard. Yes, that's who it is. Sam Shepard. I mean, oh god, everyone will know him from like
I'm looking. He was in
everything.
August, Osage County.
Yeah,
Um,
and he just died a few years ago.
yeah, 2017 it says.
Yeah, he was in. I want to say, do the the right stuff
Yes,
about
he
the
was.
yeah. Um, that's what I actually like, because when I growing up, my dad watched that a lot, so I remember that. Um,
Oh, he was in
um,
Snow Falling on Cedars. He played a ghost
with
in
with
Hamlet.
with Ryan Gosling, isn't he in that?
Oh, oh, hang on. That was a long time ago.
Oh no, he was not in that. Ethan Hawke's
Oh,
in that
Ethan
one.
Hawke was in that. Okay.
Yeah, he's in another one. Something about the Cedars, or something about.
There were two books that became movies like around a similar time at that time. Snow Falling on
Mhm.
Cedars being one of them that I always got confused.
Well,
with the other, and I don't remember why.
what was the one? There's something about, guys. I need my notes. Notes.
I think
Come
I
on.
read Snow Falling on Cedars.
I've got. Hey guys. I hate two-factor identification. Cool.
Wow, your computer really went to sleep.
Yeah, it like just decided I guess I'm gonna have to like keep moving something around here. I'm trying to figure out what this name of this fucking movie that he was in that's
You
gonna
just
drive me
gotta
crazy.
jostle your mouse every once in a while.
Jostle it.
Jostle it.
Jostle it. The Place Beyond the Pines is what I'm thinking of. With that
trees.
that Ryan, and you know what? I fucking love Drive. I love Drive. I love him in it. I like Ryan Gosling. I do. I really like him. I just don't find him attractive.
I get it. And also, like, around the time that I think he's actually gotten more attractive as he's gotten older, which again we will discuss is unfair on every single level that happens to anyone. But in pictures like off screen that I've seen from him around this time, like the Notebook time, like him going to the award shows and everything like that, and he and Sarah McAdams like dated at that time. I no thanks. Like he looks, he's gotten more attractive as he's gotten older.
He's also like, so in Drive, I found him attractive in Drive because he's older and he's a little beefier. In this movie, he's wiry. Like he's not like buff. I mean, there's not a bit of fat on him. Let's just say that. But he's like he's thin in this movie. Like, and we will get to, okay, so we might as well get there because we're close. That's what she said. Is he finds out that she's decided to go to Sarah Lawrence, which is in New York, for college. So like there's a timestamp because he thought that she was going to, no, I thought maybe Vassar is in the South. Anyhow, she thought we was going to Charleston, which that makes sense, right? Is that where
Vassar is in New York?
Okay, then there's a all-girls school in the South.
Hang on.
And she's at Charleston.
Like an all-girls college, right?
Yeah. Might not be an all-girls school.
Ashley Hall?
Yeah, that wasn't it. Maybe it's not an all-girls school. Maybe it's just college. Let's see. No, I don't know.
Ashley Hall is a K-12 school.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know which one, and I don't know if he meant South Carolina or West Virginia, Charleston. So I don't know. He just said, well, it had to be Charleston, South Carolina, because he said it's 2 hours away. So I don't know. I cannot remember what college I know she said Sarah Lawrence because they say she's going to Sarah Lawrence. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, I know this is only going to be for the summer.
Yeah, there's a timestamp.
So they go out to this, he takes her out to this broken down plantation, I should say. We all call it the mansion. We all know what it is. It's a fucking plantation. That's the one thing. Okay, so that's the other thing that I have a problem with these movies and these books is, and really a lot of times with stuff with the South, is just when you have very wealthy families, I should say, is a lot of this most of the wealth was built on the backs of Black people. Yep. So I'm having a real hard time with this. Like I mean, and there's a couple, like there is a couple maids and stuff that are Black in this movie, and it's just kind of like, it just hits home that I'm like, oh, I am uncomfortable. Like it's just, there's that.
Let's keep in mind, wasn't that long ago.
No, and you just have to like kind of suck it up, I guess, and like get through it. But at the same time, like I don't want to suck it up because I'm like, this is a huge part of our history, and it's just, and people can continue to turn a blind eye to it, and I'm like, oh god. So that was one of the other things that I had a real hard time with, especially because he goes to this plantation and it's dilapidated, and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna fuck. And then we begin what is, so at the same time, Noah, let's just say Noah knows that this thing has a timestamp. He knows that she's going away and not coming back. So he's kind of like, I'm going to get what I got with her for the last, I'm going to enjoy my last few weeks with her. She's a little delusional about it because she's fucking 17. Like, she thinks that he's going to just, move with her to fucking New York. Whatever. We enter the most unsexy sex scene. This is like, they start taking their clothes off. It's like a prison inspection. Like, it's because they're watching each other, like, take one piece of clothing off, and they just kind of stare at each other. I'm like, this is uncomfortable. I'm really uncomfortable. And again, I think, but because it's a 17 and a 19-year-old who haven't seen another person of a different sex naked before, so it's really awkward. It's super awkward. And then he doesn't do anything for her, FYI, and he starts to, like, fucking just go to Pound Town, and she freaks out because she's like, how are you feeling? Is this okay for you? Like, it's like she talked really fast. She's very nervous, and you can just tell he's kind of like, we cannot do this. We can't. Like, he recognizes that she's not with it up here. Like, she's not ready for this. And I kind of liked him in that second, even though he's kind of like, all right, I haven't done what I need to do for her to get her to where she needs to be. And she's not comfortable. Like, she's not able to take this in. And I think we need to stop. And they do. But leading up to that, it's like, holy shit. Well, they stop also because Turtle breaks in. Hey, Turtle, what up? He's like, Allie's family has called the police. They're looking for her. Because it's 3 a.m. and she hasn't come home.
Ooh. Whoops.
Right. Like, okay, I think, like, in the dad says that I'm, kind of like, I'm okay with you doing whatever you're doing with this man, this boy, but you have to, it's 3 a.m, dude.
Right.
You were 17 years old. And so they have a drag out fight, and Noah overhears it. And the mom, holy shit, I never wanted to punch Joan Allen in the mouth, but this is where I wanted to punch Joan Allen in the mouth. She goes, first I wrote, fuck me in this dirty, dilapidated house. That was my quote. I was like, well, there we go. She says, he is trash, not for you. And I was like, oh my God,
Jeez.
you've relegated a human being to literally trash. And he can hear you. They know he can hear them.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so, and fucking Rachel McAdams is stellar in the scene because she's just hot, red-faced tears just streaming down her face. But it is so like a 17-year-old, you can't tell me what to do sort of thing. And, he leaves because he's like, before, like, they're in another room, he leaves. He's like, well, this is never going to happen. And it's kind of like, he knew it, but this was kind of the nail in the coffin. Like, he's just like, I can't do this. I can't spend 2 more weeks with her, not being able to love her. And so he just leaves, and she runs after him, and he breaks up with her pretty much. He's like, what do you want me to do? And she says, well, you can move to New York. He's like, and do what, Allie? What am I going to do? He's like, I don't have much, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not. He's like, you have money. I do not. And I was like, I again had so much. This is another point where this is where you start to see Noah start to, like, become the Noah in the book, because you do go, yeah, what is, you guys are from different fucking worlds, and as much as we love to say love conquers all, you're 19, she's 17, she's going to college, he's the most realistic looking, he's looking at this with logical, like, this is never going to work. You're going to resent me at some point because you're going to give up all this money for me. And she doesn't see it that way, obviously. And they leave. They literally, like, pack up and leave the next day. So he, though, this does break my heart. And he's like, something along the lines of, that comes later, though. Hey, wait, that comes later. Yeah, hold on. mm, yeah, that comes later. So because they fight in this movie all the fucking time, constantly. And she slaps the shit out of him in this scene. And I was like, girl, no. And you can just tell, like, he's obviously not going to punch a woman, but
Right.
like, he's just like, he just takes it. And you're like, oh my God, girl, no, no. Again, you have to remember that she's 17. So, um, I'm sorry if I'm drawing this out too much. Anyhow,
No, it's sad. Like
it's
it's
super sad.
sad.
It's super sad because it's like, it's young love and you want to like, but at the same time, you know that it's never going to be,
Hmm.
you think. So he does still write to her. He writes to her literally almost every day. And mom is intercepting those letters, so she never gets a letter. And after a year of
So
not responding,
so she must be still living at home then?
no, so like it's the end of the summer when they move.
Right.
But yes, she still is living at home until she goes to school. And the mom intercepts the mail every day.
At school?
Where he writes to her at home,
At
and
home. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And because he doesn't know her address or whatever
Sure.
in
Yeah, fair.
Maryland, which I was like, how do you know her address in wherever? Anyhow, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. But
They
and
didn't
that
think that through,
no,
clearly.
and that is the same in the book. He does write her every day, and the mom gets the letters. And so we go a little bit in the future. But so after a year, he sends her a farewell letter. Like, I'm done. I'm getting no response. I'm going to give you up at this point. Like, I have to say we're done. And then he enlists because the war is on now. And
Yeah.
so he and Turtle go to war. And this happens in the book too. Like, not so much Turtle, but like he does enlist in the book too. Um and Turtle dies. R.I.P. Turtle. Which I don't know what his fucking real name is. Kevin Connolly. What the hell is his name?
Hang on.
Kevin Connolly. Yeah, Turtle. Um, and also, honestly, I've never watched Entourage. I just know that his character's name is Turtle.
Right. Okay. I see who you mean. Got it.
Um, at the same time, while the war is on, Allie volunteers as a nurse. I don't know what she was studying in college. I don't know if it was nursing. I mean, I kind of like the book. I like that she's going to college, but it doesn't make sense because I hate to say it this way, but we all know she's going to get married to a wealthy person and just be a housewife, like not be a mom, be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, that's what their job is. So it's not. It's hard for me to believe that her parents would be like, yes, you should go to college. Like,
Didn't
but I
exactly
mean,
cost as
cool.
much as it does now.
That's true. Um, but like in the way that they talk about her, like she takes language lessons. She has this, decorum classes every day. She has this and da da da. And I'm like, that sounds more like they're like they would
Finishing
in like.
school?
Yes, like a finishing school, like they would be like, or yeah, like that, or like in historical romances, which you would do to
Hmm.
like get yourself a husband,
Yep.
not go to college necessarily. Um, but I do like so. I don't know if she was in nursing in college. I don't know. But she volunteers and she meets Lon James Marsden, who is also enlisted and he's recovering and he's all beat up and he's like, I'm gonna go on a date with you. Like you Lon is very easy to like. He's very likable. He's very likable in the book, and he's likable it's fucking James Marsden, and he's not an asshole. Like when it comes down to it, and she's got to choose between the two of them, his response is very sweet, and it is. I mean, for her, I wouldn't want to have to make that decision, honestly, because he is, and she says she even tells at one point. We'll get there. Anyhow, okay, let's see. Um, of course, her parents love him because he comes from Southern money,
Duh.
and in the book, he's a lawyer. In here, he's heir to which honestly, I kind of like this better because it would make more. It makes more sense. He is heir to a cotton like
Plantation.
dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, fun fact: Wilmington, North Carolina was where they developed the cotton gin. So where they
Oh,
process cotton. So there's actually like
Eli
the gin is
Whitney.
still, yeah, yeah, it's still there. It's all stores now in there, but it's like the gin is still there. It's really nice. It's they have neat little stores in there. Anyhow, um, let's see. Okay, so then this is another addition of a character that's not in the book, and this is another thing I did not like. And not to say that like, because at this point Noah has he's come home. He his do we yeah, okay, so sorry. Um he comes home from the war. The dad has sold his house, their house, and he gives him money to rebuild the mansion, dilapidated mansion.
Hmm.
He's like, it's a good idea. I'm like, is it? Because it looks like a piece of shit. Why is this a good idea? Um, and subsequently then dies. So R.I.P. Frank Calhoun. Uh, and while he's in town at one point, he sees, so the same time Lon proposes, and so she's engaged to Lon. Allie's engaged to Lon. And at one point he sees her in town. Noah sees her in town eating with Lon. And so he just now knows it's over. And he finishes the house, finishes the mansion, and he gets his picture taken by the paper and a story written up about him refurbishing this house. And there is a line here that I laughed at. I loved it. And he says, um, it's James Garner reading. He finished the house, got rip roaring drunk for 10 days, then considered setting it on fire. Because he's just like, this was for her, and she's never coming back. And this is where we got Ryan Gosling with a beard. He gets his beard on. He's got a beard for the rest of the movie. That was kind of working for me. I like that. Then we have this whole thing with Martha Shaw. She's a war widow that he's like banging. Like
Oh,
they bang.
okay.
And the reason I didn't like it is because like we've got another person to hurt. That's what this is. It's another person to eventually hurt in this book or in this movie. And I'm like, we didn't need this character. We didn't. I mean, I guess it's to show that he's moved on, but he's not, because
Well, obviously not.
every time they're together, he's not great to her. Like, it's not like he's mean to her, but he's like so closed off. And they have this conversation where he's pretty much like, I can't give you what you want. And she just starts crying. And you're like, why? What? Again, sad porn. This is just sad
Just
porn.
sad porn.
And you just feel bad for this person. And because it's not like she's already, her husband died in the war. And now
Right.
she's falling in love with this other person who is emotionally unavailable. Cool. Awesome.
Great.
Thanks, Nicholas. Oh, actually, it's not Nicholas Sparks. I can't push that one on him. Whoever the Jeremy Levin, Jans, Sardi, and Nick. Oh, well, Nicholas Sparks is the book.
Yeah.
Oh, then we get to see Allie picks out the ugliest wedding dress, and she's super excited about it. I'm gonna look for it right now. Wedding dress, The Notebook. It's not. It's oh, here we go. Let me see if I can get a good picture of it.
Oh, I just saw a
No,
picture of the house, like super dilapidated. Holy crap!
yeah, here
Like
I'm
there's
gonna.
the roof is caving in.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
I don't think I can send pictures. No. Oh, let me see if I can. Nope, I can't. I can
Okay.
send here, copy link address. This is good. This is good recording a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is just not, I don't understand. There's the sleeves are separate. They're like
This is
arm warmers.
this is in an article entitled "The Most Iconic Movie Wedding Dresses of All Time."
Oh, well, it should be on there though, somewhere.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is what,
Oh.
like, they say it's iconic.
Oh.
It falls
Okay.
into that category for them.
Oh, got it. Okay, well, it's not. It's not.
It's taking too long to scroll.
Did you see it? Let me see if I can find it.
I got it. Oh,
Okay.
ew.
Yeah, like right? Like it's kind of like arm warmers. Like they're not connected to the dress at all.
It's actually a little 80s.
I was thinking that same thing. I was like, this is not a 40s
I
wedding
hate
dress.
that. No, it's awful.
I hate it. It's ugly. And I'm like, all of her clothes are so cute in this, and then you put her in that. I'm like,
That's awful.
what is happening? Yeah. She so they're all excited because she's made the paper too, because this wedding is gonna be like the governor is gonna be there, all that. Colonel Sanders is gonna be there.
Of
He's gonna
course.
bring his 12 spices recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Secret
so
recipe.
looking at the paper, of course she's made the paper. And what else is in the paper does she see?
Noah with the house.
Yep. And proceeds to pass out. Then has the idea, I'm going to go see him. So she goes to Lon and is like, I need to go to, I think it's Seaside. I don't remember. I can't remember the name of the
Seabrook.
town. Seabrook. I need to go to Seabrook. I just have some things I need to do. And he's like, cool about it. He's like, is there anything you need? Like, again, Lon is such a good character. Like, it's another person to hurt in this fucking movie. Like, it's a
Yeah.
good character to hurt. And he's like, is there something you need? Like, he's given her, like, tell me what's happening. Tell me what's going on. He's like, is there something I should know? Like, should I be worried? And she's like, no. I'm just going to go fuck someone.
Right.
Cause she
Mm-hmm.
does. So she goes back to the house. She drives right up to the fucking house. And then, freaks out pretty much. Is like, I don't know why I came here. Then runs into a fence.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
In the book, not so much. Like, she's more like, it's same sort of thing. She comes out to the house but she's more like, can we be friends? Does not run into a fence. Is more like, I don't know why I'm here, but I felt like I needed to come. I needed to see the house. I needed to see you. Wanted to see how your dad was, and it's very much more. It's brought down a few levels. Like, this was like, she acts like a nitwit. And let's see. And he's like, why don't you
Nitwit is
stay in
such a good word. I haven't heard that word forever.
I'm gonna bring it back.
You
Um,
should.
uh-huh. So he's like, why don't you stay for dinner? and so she does, and they have a very awkward, because she's like, holy shit, is this where we were almost gonna have sex? And he was like, yep.
I mean, I think, didn't you? A little bit?
A little bit, like,
I
there
mean,
was
he
no
stopped it quick.
penetration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then but we'll get there, because my mind was blown in a second.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, and then of course the rest of the night is awkward after that. And so she's going to leave, and he's like, just come back for breakfast tomorrow, please. Just come back, I have something I want to show you. And she says, okay. So then we shift to the nursing home. And so the whole time we're shifting back and forth to the nursing home, and Duke is reading to Allie from this notebook. And he reads this story literally every day to her to make her remember. And some days he gets through the whole thing, some days he doesn't. And so she's asking questions like, oh, I can't, this breaks my heart. And, who did she pick? And things like that. Now we're in the present again, and the kids have come to the nursing home. And this is one of the saddest fucking scenes, because, I mean, as an audience member, you do not know that this is fucking their kids, then I don't know what to tell you. Sorry to but they all greet her. They all are introduced to her. And it's
Oh
super
my
fucking sad.
God.
And she's like, I'm going to go upstairs. I think I'm going to take a nap. And so she leaves, not knowing these are her kids.
Right.
And this is where we get the please come home. She doesn't recognize us anymore. We'll help take care of her, but you need to come home. We need you. We need you home. And he just says something like, that's my sweetheart. I can't leave her. She's it for me. Like, it's kind of like, that statement, like, at a certain point your kids are going to leave, and
Mm-hmm.
you will be with, and he's like, this is part of my vows, man. Part of my vows. And again, Noah is the fucking bomb. So we also learned that one of the grandkids, we don't learn this now, we learn it later, one of the grandkids' names is Noah Jr. or Noah. Yeah, Noah also. I'm like, because I think, and we don't, like, she doesn't come up and he doesn't come up and he's not introduced, because I think if he did,
Right.
then
It kind of gives it away.
right. So, flashback to the past. Allie goes to visit Noah the next morning. They go feed some geese.
As
They're
one
on a
does.
boat in yeah, they're on a boat in the river.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is where it starts to
This is
rain.
the
So you
rain.
know
Okay.
this is the rain. And there's all these fucking geese, and they talk a little bit more, and they get back to the it starts to rain, and so he's pulling the boat up onto the dock, and all fucking hell breaks loose, because she's just like, why didn't you write me? And he's like, I fucking wrote you every day. And she's like, you know, and it's kind of like they both realize that the mom was taking the letters. And then we have this whole like, you wanted to be over. It was over for you. And she says, but it wasn't over for me. And that's where I started tears a little bit. Tears were starting to, because she's like, it's never been over for me. And I was like, you know, and that made me hate the mom even more, because it's like
Oh,
that
sure.
mom, that she took away her closure, and that just that, you know, it's like, how do you expect her to move on and fall in love with somebody else if she's still in love with him?
Right.
So, all right,
And she took
we
away her
get some
choice in the matter.
exactly, and you have to like, if that's if that's the decision, well, I mean, it's 1940, so it's a different time. It's like, if that's her decision that she wants to make to go and be with him, that's her decision to fucking make. Again, 1940s, and she didn't really have that decision. It was kind of made for her.
Right.
So we get to fucking here. This is fucking hot. I'm not gonna lie. And I just read they had to tone down some of the scenes, because to get or otherwise this is, the love scenes had to be toned down to avoid an R rating, because it is there's thrusting. There's no like nudity. But if you don't know, I mean, he does at first slam her up into a wall, and I was like,
Right.
okay, like, as before, it was like, when they started disrobing, it was kind of like an inspection. This one was more like, she starts on his belt immediately, and he's got his arm over above her head, and she's taking his pants off, and I was like, this is fucking hot. Like, and it is super hot. He does still not he does not go to down south, doesn't go south of the border, unfortunately, but
Um,
um they both they both complete they both complete, and she says that's what all the hype was about. I'm like,
so she was still
okay,
a virgin.
that, or she's never had an orgasm.
Oh, James Marsden.
I have to I tend to believe it's probably she's a virgin. I have to believe that, because it's 1940s, and I'm sure she's still, like, when she's not in school, living at home.
Yeah.
So I would assume. Um and but she, from this point on, they fucking a lot. Like, I mean, like, you don't see it, but like, they're constantly like, either she's disrobed at some point. I mean, again, no nudity. um
Fascinating.
oh, so yeah, this is the other part where we get they fight again, and he says, and she's like, it's, you know, kind of like, I gotta leave, it's over, you know, it's over now. And he's like, it's still not over. And it is his vehement like, it's still not over, fucking hot. And then they of course fuck again,
Yeah.
and Martha shows up. Hey, Martha. And she just says, it's her, isn't it?
Hmm.
And he's, you know, they just, and here comes Allie, just invites Martha in. Come in, come and hang out with us, Martha. So Martha spends the rest of the day with them. Awkward. Yeah. I was like, this is fucking awkward. And so he walks Martha out to the car at the end of the day, and after the dinner or whatever, and she's like, she's sensational. And she says, and she's something like, now I have something to, it's given me hope, because it's like kind of like, not so much that she's at this point realizes she's not going to be with him, but she has hope that it's the first, she said something along the lines of, it's the first time I've had hope since her husband died, because she hopes that she'll be able to find someone just like that will love her like that. That's what it was intimated. I wasn't spelled out so much, but that's kind of what I got from it, because otherwise I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Sure.
Let's see. She wakes up after they've been banging some more. And there's a note left for her. So all along, she's talked about painting. She liked to paint. It was one thing that she did for her. Like everything else that she did for, like, either to go to college or to find a husband and things like that. This painting was something she did that she liked to do for fun, and something she did for herself. What do you think he did?
He made a studio for her, didn't he?
He did. He made a studio in the house for her. You know that he made that when he refurbished the house, because
Oh,
there's
of
no way he could have
course.
done it overnight.
Right.
So yeah. So then she just paints topless, or actually naked. She paints naked. I was like, okay. I mean, it's fucking, Rachel McAdams circa 2004. Okay, thank you. And someone comes knocking at the door again. Who do you think it is this time?
Her mother.
It is her mother.
Oh my God. First of all, I'm
And this
upset that I
happens,
was able to predict that, because I did not know that was
and this
happening.
is the same thing that happens in the book. And so, except for they go for a drive in this, and we find out that her mom was, I guess, quote unquote, slumming it too, because she shows her the dude that she fell in love with before she met her husband, and he works for the lumber yard or something. Yep. And she's like, we actually ran away, but we ran away, but the police picked us up in the next town. Because again, she's probably 17. Like if she was
Yeah.
18, the police would be like, we literally,
You're an adult. I don't know what to
you're an
tell you.
adult.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she was 17 also.
Yeah, she was probably underage.
And she's, and I do like the scene, because she breaks down and her mom starts to cry, and she's like, I love your father. I love him so much, but it's kind of like, this is the choice I made. I want you to make sure that you're making the right choice. And so she takes her back to Noah's, leaves her with the letters, and she's, I want to let you know, Lon's on his way here, because your dad told him about Noah. So Lon's on his way. Lon's in town at this point. They've seen Lon's car.
Oh, geez.
And so she literally has to make a decision. And she gets in the car, and he's screaming. Like they have this horrific fight.
Wait, who's they?
Noah and Allie have a
Okay.
horrific fight, because she's like, Lon's in town. He knows why I'm here. And he's like, pretty much like, fucking make a decision. Pick something. Don't pick it for me. Don't pick it for your parents. Pick it for you. Make the decision. If
Is
you
this
want to
when
be
he
with Lon,
screams, "What do you want?" And she's like, "I don't know."
yes.
That has been
Yes.
turned into every single "What do you want to eat" meme ever.
Yes.
Okay, got
This
it.
is, I mean, and rightly so. I mean, like, fucking make a decision. Like, you can, he pretty much, he's like, he literally says, you come here and you fuck me, and then you back to your husband. And she's like, well, not husband yet, but still, like, and it's right. Like, are you going to continue fucking doing this, coming to me and fucking me and then going back to your husband?
Right.
You need to make a decision. And she's driving, and she's crying, and she almost gets in a car accident, pulls off to the side of the road, which she should have not been driving that upset, picks out his last letter.
Oh, God.
The one. Yep. She drives into town after that. And then we switch to the present. And this is the last page of the notebook. So the notebook, we don't know when he finishes who she picks. So at this point, she starts to remember. She has a moment of clarity in the present. Sorry,
You're gonna cry. Oh my God.
This is super sad. It's so fucking sad. So they're dancing to Jimmy Durante. What is it? I can't think of it right now.
So
I'll be
this is the
seeing you.
present.
I'll be
We're in the
doing the present right
okay.
now. I'll be seeing you. And she starts to remember. And he says, she's like, how, you know, I'm, you know, kind of like, I'm remembering. And she's like, you know, how, he's like, you know, it comes and go, you know, I've got you now. She says, you know, how long was it last time? 5 minutes.
Oh God.
So before the end of the dance, because, oh my God, she says to him, she asks about the kids, the grandkids, and she says, please tell them I love them. And then she disappears again. And she starts to scream because she doesn't know who he is, why he's dancing with her, why he's calling her sweetheart. And I mean, he's lost. He's losing it because he's just, you know, oh my God. And they had to actually tranquilize her because she's so like, she's in hysterics. He has a heart attack. Yep. This is like his third. Now this is not in the book. We don't talk about the there is a moment, and it's not from anything he did. She just has a bad day in the book. But it's their anniversary, so he like kind of sneaks in afterward. I'm sorry, I'm confusing the two. But he doesn't have any he doesn't have any health issues from what I can remember in the book, but yeah, my note is, oh my God, she remembers and I'm crying. So he goes back to his room first after this thing before the heart attack, and he's looking through pictures, and those are the pictures, the edited photoshopped pictures. And then he opens the notebook. She wrote the notebook.
Oh my God.
And we don't get this in the book. I think this is for at least I don't remember. Again, 2x speed, I don't remember. But it just says, if you read this to me, I will come back to you.
Oh Christ.
Okay. Okay, so then he has his third heart attack. And we see Allie in the present just sitting like a zombie because she's partially still tranquilized, but you can see this will be her future. If he dies, this will be her future, is just sitting staring into nothing. And I'm trying to remember where we learned that she does obviously pick Noah. Um, I think it's here because he sneaks into her room and he gets in bed with her and she's herself again. And this is kind of similar to the book. He sneaks and gets in bed with her in the book, and I think this is pretty much I can see where they tacked on this ending, because in the book it seems to be like you learn that she comes back to Noah, she chooses Noah, but we do see her making that decision and telling Lon, like, and Lon's so very nice, like so sweet about it. He goes, well, I've got like 3 options. One is to kick him in the face. One is to something I can't remember, kidnap you, and something else. He's like, but none of these options give me you. And he knows, like, he even says, he goes, it's perfectly fine to still have feelings for your first love. And she says, like, it's just not the same. I love you, but I love you as a different person. I love Noah as a different person, and I want to be that person that's with Noah. And she's like, I'm making this decision for me. And she goes back out to the house, and they kiss, and it's very sweet. And we shift to present, and it's the nurse coming in and checking, and it's the next morning, and they have passed away together in the night with their hands clasped, and it's it is a beautiful ending. I think I actually do like them passing away together, because it's like I don't want that scene of them, like I don't want that for these two.
Mm-hmm.
They've been through so much. You just want them to have that happily ever after, which would be dying together. So, yeah, that's the Notebook, guys. I'm glad I cried on camera. Great, cool. That happened.
It's okay.
I
I've
was
cried on the internet before.
Yeah, you have. I was sobbing.
I feel like if I
I
watched it, I would cry, but I did not cry with you telling me. I don't know if it's just because I'm dead inside, but like,
Well, I'm also not explaining it well, but
No, I
at the
don't
same
think
time,
that's
like
the case. This is incredibly sad. I just think that maybe if I watched it, like if I saw it,
yeah,
I'd be
probably.
like
Oh yeah,
in the moment, and like,
oh yeah. I think if you watched it, I mean, it would be hard pressed at anybody who watched it and didn't cry. I'd be like, are
or,
you dead inside?
or I'm dead inside and am just trying to stick it to Nicholas Sparks. And I'm just
I mean, it made
refusing.
me angry. It made me angry that I was crying. I was like, son of a bitch, you motherfucker. Like, I was like,
Yeah, I have like some potentially bad news for you in that we were early in this discussion talking about like how many movies have been made. Like, I hope not that many. I don't know if this is a complete list, but as I am looking at it, there are 10. The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, The Best of Me, Safe Haven, The Longest Ride, The
oh, yeah,
Choice.
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Dear John, The Lucky One, The Last Song, Message in a Bottle, Nights in Rodanthe, Deliverance Creek.
Fucking Deliverance Creek.
I
That
don't know
sounds like
what
a
the fuck
fucking
that
horror
is.
movie.
It does a little
I've
bit. Even
I've
and
seen.
honestly, like maybe that kind of is like it says drama, but like it doesn't look like a romance. A widow resorts to desperate measures to protect her 3 children and her land during the Civil War. So probably a movie you might like, but it is not. It does not sound like it could be even confused with a romance genre unless there
Great.
is a male love interest that is just not discussed
Could
in
be.
here.
It could be a soldier.
Could be.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to guess what side that she's on. But
I'm gonna take a guess.
yeah, guess what flags flying over her house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, oh, okay. Great. So this is a series that won't die. Well, we got one of those down.
Okay, technically, we have 2 of them down. Okay, because we did Safe Haven.
Right.
So,
That's yeah, besides that this one, yeah, we're
so
good.
let's
We're
say we've
good.
got 2 down. You have what 7 to go then, because I don't think Deliverance Creek is going to be included in that. So,
Right.
A Walk to Remember, The Best of Me, Longest Ride, The Choice, Dear John, which I have actually seen.
I've seen Message in a Bottle.
Okay, I have not.
It's super fucking sad. It's got Kevin Costner in, I think.
Perfect.
Right?
I've not
Somebody's
seen The Last Song.
That's got Miley Cyrus in it, does it not?
Yes, and also I believe Liam Hemsworth. I think that's how they met.
I
Yes,
think
it
you're
is.
correct. Because Dear John's got Channing Tatum and Big Eyes
Yes.
in it, right? Yeah.
Wow, big eyes. Yes. What is her name?
She does. She has very large eyes.
She does. Amanda Seyfried.
Beautiful eyes, but they're very
Oh,
large.
for sure. Yeah.
Amanda
She,
Seyfried. That's it.
she probably, how like cartoon characters and frankly babies like they have very big eyes. They're like over
Yeah.
exaggerated, like large heads, large features and things like that. And that's like one of the things that makes them cute.
Yes.
I feel like that adds to her attractiveness level because like she has these big beautiful eyes and like gorgeous
Yes.
hair, and she's sort of got that like
Right. She looks like an
Disney
anime
princess
character.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Oh. Oh. Great.
This is going to be so fun. What is The Choice about?
Oh, probably fucking abortion.
Travis Shaw is a ladies' man who thinks a serious relationship would cramp his easygoing lifestyle. Gabby Holland is a feisty medical student who's preparing to settle down with her long-term boyfriend. Fate
Oh,
brings
that
the
one's
two
on.
together as Gabby moves next door to Travis, sparking an irresistible attraction that upends both of their lives. As their bond grows, the unlikely couple must decide how far they're willing to go to keep the hope of love alive.
I think that one is on. It is. It's on Netflix. Thank God. I don't want to pay. I had to pay for this shit.
Ew.
Yeah, I paid for a couple things last night that I was like, why am I watching this? Yes, The Choice, The Best of Me are both on Netflix.
Okay. Well, if you
I
want,
actually
we could
The Choice
front
actually
load
didn't.
those so that because we know they're on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think The Choice looks good because I did laugh at the trailer because I don't know who. It's a bunch of who the hell are these people sort of
Yeah.
movies. It has Maggie Grace in it. I think we all know who Maggie Grace is. That's about it. But he's like is this guy who's a very youngish guy, and Benjamin Walker. Never
Yeah.
heard of him.
Benjamin Walker. I've
Benjamin Walker. I
also never
don't
heard of
even
him.
know her. Um, um,
Alexandra Daddario is in it. And
I
we've
love
used her
her.
for stunt casting before, or I
Her
have.
big old blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, she so they're on a boat. I'm on a boat,
Yep.
and she takes off her shirt. She's got like a bikini underneath, and she's talking with her friends. And he just looks at his dog. He's like, "I think we're in trouble." And I'm like, "Nice, I like that."
Nice.
I think that might be the next one I'm gonna go for.
Okay. Okay. That's your choice.
Sexual
The
content and
choice.
some thematic issues.
Shocking.
I mean, it sounds like enemies to lovers, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a bachelor's rocky first encounter, filled with hope and hardship,
Great.
emotional, romantic, tearjerker. Why? Why?
Because sad porn.
The fact that he's like, I have a formula to write fucking novels for ladies. Fuck you. You wouldn't know how to go down on a woman if you gave you a manual, you dipshit.
Wow. To be fair, I think a lot of men struggle with that, but you know.
Yeah, the whole super Catholic school he has and shit like that. Oh, Dear John's on here too. Okay.
Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will watch it again before like we can talk about it because I didn't mind that movie. Honestly,
There's some interesting titles for movies on here. Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between. This looks like Ashton Kutcher. Your Place or Mine. Okay.
okay, getting to the point.
Can You Keep a Secret? Oh, who's that dude? He's good looking. What's his name? Tyler Hoechlin. Oh, I know that one. That's like it's a total rom com where they're on a plane together. She's like kind of like pours her heart out to this guy, and they ends up being like her boss. Like
Oh,
surprise, it's her boss. But it's got Alexandria Diodaro too.
oh, Daddario. Oh,
Yeah.
James Marsden is in The Best of Me, so he is
Yes.
in more than one Nicholas Sparks movie.
Yes. If you click on it and you go to the like the small snippet, he's all sweaty. Whew. Oh, is he sweaty?
Not angry about it.
No.
Scott
Damn
Eastwood
man.
is in The Longest Ride. He's easy on the ojos.
Oh, he is. We Hate Movies love to they equate him to a piece of furniture because that's how he acts. He
Oh
can't
wow.
act. They're
Okay.
like, oh yeah, he's
He's in Eastwood though, so you know.
yeah. So he's got some really bad political views.
Oh no, I was gonna say
Um,
he has foot in the door. That's all I'm saying. Like
True story. True. I mean, he's
he had connections.
hot.
He
He's
is.
hot, but he cannot act. Oh, I'm just looking at James Marsden. I mean, James Marsden. How, how are you this hot? And he's getting hotter as he gets older.
It's unfair. I have a question. How many Nicholas Sparks books are based in like World War II era?
I think just the one.
Uh oh, okay. All right. Let me rephrase. How many Nicholas Sparks books are based in like some sort of person going off to war?
Oh, that I don't know. At least
because
Dear John and
Dear
that one.
John, The Notebook, apparently The Lucky One.
Oh.
Okay, so maybe only
Yeah,
4.
Message in a Bottle is he's a fisherman. Nights in Rodanthe is another bachelor.
Richard Gere.
The only thing, so,
Oh
and
my God,
I'm
Christopher
almost,
Maloney is in Nights in Rodanthe.
all right,
Okay.
but I know it's Richard Gere
Yeah, Richard Gere and Diane Lane. Viola Davis is in it.
because I think it's like a, obviously they're older.
Right.
Uh, and I'm almost positive that um the Notebook is actually supposed to be taking place in North Carolina. It wouldn't make sense because all of his. Oh no, it's wait. Hold on, that's the movie.
Didn't you tell me it was South
Um,
Carolina?
in the movie, it's South Carolina, but
Mm.
all of his books take place in North Carolina. So it would be unusual if
If
it
just like
wasn't
one random one wasn't.
was in South Carolina
Right.
because he lives in North Carolina and is from North Carolina.
No, he is
Um,
from Nebraska.
oh, is he?
He was
Oh,
born in
okay.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, he lives in North Carolina now. That's where his crazy school is. Oh,
Gross.
the Lucky One's got Zac Efron in it.
I know, I saw. I'm excited.
Who's the chick?
What is it? I
Somebody of
just looked at this and I don't remember her name.
Taylor
Taylor.
Schilling.
Oh, from Orange is the New Black.
Uh, uh. I
Okay,
mean,
so it looks like um
oh, I've seen Watch and Remember too. I've seen that one. That one is fucking sad
I've
too.
seen
Jesus.
many pieces of it, but probably never the whole thing. You know, I love fucking Mandy Moore. Um, yeah, I mean, that's like childhood cancer, gets married, she dies quickly. So, gonna be great,
Well,
you know?
I had a friend who had CP, and so she loved that book. It was her favorite book because obviously it's a person who
Right.
she in the book she's got cerebral palsy in the book, I believe,
Oh.
because the big part of it is that she walks down the aisle when they get married.
Oh, walk to remember. Got it.
Yeah. And I think they made it so that she had cancer in the movie, but she was like debilitated, like she could not walk by that point, but she could walk for her wedding, walk down the aisle. I think
Oh, I can't wait
it's
to.
sad as fuck. It's super goddamn. Okay, all right.
All right.
All right, what did I say? The choice. The choice is gonna be
Choice is gonna be next. In Spark Notes with Ray, the choice will be next, and the choice of whether or not we rage about sad porn is probably not much of a choice at all. It's probably just gonna happen.
No, and I'm gonna say like there wasn't a lot of raging here because there wasn't much to rage on.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna give this as a W for Mr. Sparks because this was a good book, motherfucker.
Fucker. I'm not saying he's not a good writer. I'm just saying that it's bullshit
No.
that he even markets these books as romance novels because oftentimes they're not. And also, it's just sad porn.
Yep. There is no HEA for a large number of them. It's a soap opera. That's what this is. It's a soap opera on page with a portion of fanatical Christianity sprinkled on top.
Score.
Yep, because that's all Walk to Remember is. Cool.
Can't
Anyhow,
wait.
all right, so that's that.
Okay, cool. So we'll be back
I guess I can do hearts and eggplants.
Oh, go for it.
So for the book, hearts. Fucking 4. I mean, it's very romantic. It's very. I hate that I'm saying fucking hearts 4, but it's.
I mean, the premise of the entire thing is very romantic. I mean, it is. It just
Noah
is
an amazing hero. He is. I mean,
it's very love conquers all.
yep. And I'll say for both because the movie's very romantic also. Although no, the movie I'm gonna slip down to like a 2 because they fight a fucking lot in that fucking movie. But there are some beautiful lines in it. But I'm gonna
And
say
also,
2.5.
Noah has like a penchant for reckless behavior,
Yep.
which is not romantic.
No. Um. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's the characterization was a little different. Um. Eggplants. 2 for both. I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's descriptive in the book, but it's not like like we're used to. But there's sex, so
We've seen some shit.
we've seen some shit. Um. But it's not like just a kiss. They do have sex both in the book and in the movie. So there you go.
All right.
All right. What do we have coming up?
Okay, well, for the show, next we are reading Tides of Passion, right? Tides of Passion is the one we landed on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right? I keep
Believe so.
confusing them. I haven't started it yet. Yeah, Tides of Passion, because I like to, much like you, like to finish it very close to the time we're
Yeah.
recording so that I don't have other things in my mind.
Yep.
So Tides of Passion with Tracy Sumner, and we will be interviewing her. We have to nail
We
down those
will.
details. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's next.
Mhm.
And that episode comes out June 27th. So
Yep.
yeah, like next week, I guess. That's what's up next. We actually don't
Yeah.
have a plan after that because we fly by the seat of our pants here at the Chick Lit Book Club podcast. Sometimes we have a plan. Just right now in July, we don't. So, and then here, I suppose you'll see us next for The Choice with, on
Yeah.
Spark Notes.
And we're probably gonna start this new little series called we don't have a name for it yet, but it's authors that brought us into the genre.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some reviews of books from those authors. So
Mm-hmm.
that will be coming very shortly.
I still have a bunch of like those OG ones that I read like in paperback. So I'll have to like give them a
Nice.
reread. Yeah.
Coolio.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
All right. Well,
happy reading, everybody.
happy reading.